Well, here we go again. Welcome back to Shanghai. Welcome back to qualifying in China. And this is a technical, tricky track. Whoever takes pole is going to deserve it.
Okay, I know you're eager to get out there, but I'm going to need you to be patient for a few minutes. We're just trying to zero in on an oil leak. We've dropped to P20. And we've dropped to P12. Less than one lap of fuel left now. The tank's pretty much empty. pushed down to P20. The top 5 cars as things stand: Norris, Leclerc, Verstappen, Sainz and Alonso. Okay, so as for the cars around us, just ahead are Zhu, Albon and Ocon. And we're in front of Tsunoda, Magnussen and Hulkenberg. The fastest lap at the moment, 1 minute 31.6. Okay, I'm afraid we've been pushed down to P16. Okay, we've only got 1 lap of fuel remaining. We're expecting some rain soon. Expect the first drops in the next few minutes. Understood. Stopping this lap.
The Chinese Grand Prix then is upon us once again. A race that saw Michael Schumacher claim his final Formula One victory in 2006, as well as Red Bull's first, Sebastian Vettel, in 2009. There's no doubt plenty more drama to come here in Shanghai. We start a lap here at Shanghai with the long, difficult right-handers of turns 1 and 2, the first of 16 corners that make up this 3.3-mile circuit. The incredibly long back straight provides the best passing opportunity in the lap, with speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour before we head into the braking zone on turn 14. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc on P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Sainz, Oscar Piastri, Russell, Perez, Fernando Alonso, Stroll, Tsunoda, Gasly, Albon, Ricciardo, Joe, Ocon, Ryan, Hulkenberg, Bottas, Magnussen, Sargent and Isaac Hadjar. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out there. Let's see who can prevail today. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me is Anthony Davis. Well, it's an excellent...
Try to put the starting position out of your mind and just focus on the race ahead. We can still do a good job here today. Okay, the start was fine. Let's try and move forward. DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. Watch out for understeer in the wake of the car ahead. Try to get past as quickly as you can. Push, push. Okay, we're monitoring some wear on the internal combustion engine. Be aware that we're going to start to see a loss of power. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 7.5 seconds. And gap to the car in front, 4.6 seconds. Okay, clear. Okay, some information on Gasly. They're retiring from the race. We're approaching the pit window now, and you're going to be on hards next time. Okay, so gap to the car ahead, 5.9 seconds. Confirmed, we'll receive you at the end of this lap.
A -5 brake pads and the thing just doesn't turn. It's unbelievable.
Okay, be aware, the grip levels are going to start falling away soon.
It looks like the pit crew are out in the lane and ready to perform their magic on the car. They're going to be aiming to achieve the fastest pit stop time possible.
Look after these tyres now, we want to finish the race on this compound.
Box, 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 box.
Okay, keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 13.9 seconds. Lando's ahead of you now. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 28.4 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. And you've got P15, P15. Norris just ahead, push for the position. They're on fresh mediums. That's Alonso behind. Okay, they're on fresh hards. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go. Okay, 7 laps to go. Alonso behind you now. Okay, they're on fresh hards. The car behind has some damage to its front wing, but pace is currently unaffected. Okay, Isaac's coming in for his stop now. Piastri ahead. Okay, gap to the car ahead, 3.2 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are just 1 lap old. Time last lap, 1:52.9. Perez behind. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are just 1 lap old. The car behind has minor front wing damage. Your last lap time, 1:55.7. Okay, gap to the car in front, 3.9 seconds. Okay, we lost the position. Try to keep focus.
What the is he doing, man? What the
Okay, gap ahead, 10.4 seconds. Gap on the car behind by 0.5 a lap. Piastri's ahead of you, and gap to the car in front, 12.4 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Okay, they've got 4 laps on their tyres, and the time last lap, 1:34.6. Okay, mate, this is not good. You're losing 3 seconds a lap.
Okay, he pushed me off the track. I think you have to leave the space. All the time you have to leave the space.
Alright, so we've been looking at the damage and we think we should be okay to continue. It's going to cost us a little bit of time, but we're nearly at the end of the race. Okay, this is your final lap of the race. Okay, so gap to the car ahead, 17.3 seconds.
We won it! Finally!
Yes! 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 Ah!
That's 8th place, you're in 8th place. Okay, Piastri just ahead. Push hard, push hard. Perez is behind you. Less than a second separates you. They're on old mediums. Okay, final lap, let's go, final lap.
What the? Is she crazy or what?
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
What a performance! He's left the field behind. Charles Leclerc wins it.
Well, they showed true grit out there today, not to be outdone by the rough circumstances at many points that came their way today. A job well done, not the easiest of days, but they walk away with a race victory.
Ferrari are at it again. An excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for the next one.
You're not currently in a rivalry. Sooner or later, you'll probably be asked by the media who you consider to be your rival. Thanks. I know these kinds of decisions can be challenging, but I think you made the right call. Our new parts have completed without issue. They'll be on the car ready for the next race weekend.